Alright lads, I'm super gassed for this video because it's the first game week's prediction of the 2026-27 Premier League season. I can tell you I've got a few crazy predictions for this video, so make sure to keep tuned. Starting off with Arsenal versus Coventry, and to be honest I think Coventry coming up as a Premier League side, they couldn't have had a worse start to the season playing the current Premier League winners. But if they get any sort of point or result out of this, that's an amazing chance to set the tone for this season. I'm excited to see the Goalscorers-Rice duo partnership in midfield. Obviously Arsenal signed Goalscorers from Newcastle. Sorry about that, Newcastle. I'm sure you don't want to be reminded on that one, but I think together they're going to be a deadly duo. I wasn't really a massive fan of Zubimendi, so I think he's going to slot in next to Rice, and it should be a pretty controlling game for Arsenal. I can see Arsenal just pushing and pushing, them getting a lot of shots off, being very positive. But one factor we need to keep in mind is Rushworth. He's obviously signed for Coventry. He's their new number one. Well, I suppose he did play last season. He's their number one for this Premier League season. He's a great shot stopper and potentially saving a few amazing shots. I'm sorry, Coventry fans. I would love for you guys to win, but I'm going to say 3-1 to Arsenal. A late Rudoni goal for Coventry takes away that clean sheet from Raya. But it was just a very dominant game from Arsenal. I'm actually going to predict Rice to score a banger from outside the box. On to Hull versus Man United, and Man United had an amazing pre-season from a United fan. A lot of the players look very fit, so I think they're going to be ready for this first Premier League game. Hull, like Coventry, also have something to prove. So maybe coming into this, they'll play a little bit confident, or maybe they'll just be defensive with the low block. I love United, but I have to be honest, I just have a feeling it's not going to be a total domination from either side. I think it's actually going to be quite a balanced game, but we do have to keep in mind that Hull's new signings haven't really settled in yet, so that's a factor. I'm sure they're going to be playing a lot of them, but they haven't really got the chance to gel together. So I think Manchester United are going to get the win. I'm going to say 2-1 to United, with Mbeumo scoring the winner. He's going to be an absolute force in this 90 minutes, just continuously going at the whole City defence. And I think actually Balumi, if I'm saying his name right, I know I've known the player for years, but I still don't actually know how to pronounce his name. He's going to score a goal as well to kickstart his Premier League goal tally. In case you guys would be interested, I have an amazing Premier League predictions that tells you who's going to make the Champions League, who's just going to miss out on the Prem, who's going to win the Prem, and who's going to get relegated. Why not? Give it a watch. Might surprise you. On to Ipswich Town versus Sunderland, and Sunderland are actually missing Dan Ballard and Alderate, who are both defenders for them, out in injury, I believe, so maybe their defence will be a little bit more weaker. Don't sleep on Fatawu. Obviously he's just been signed from Leicester City. Unfortunately they've been relegated to League One, so Ipswich Town have signed him up. It was amazing from what I remember for Leicester when they were actually up in the Prem, and I think he's going to have a great match here. I've already said it twice, but I'll say it again. Ipswich Town, just like Hull City and Coventry, have something to prove. So again, these first three games, you never actually know, there could be a couple upsets. Saying that, I think I just have to back the quality of Sunderland. I'm actually going to say a 3-0 thrashing. I think their quality just over Ipswich is undeniable. And I see Brian Brobby getting a brace, and he's quite a physical lad, quite a big boy. So I think he's going to just bully those defenders. On to Everton versus Palace, and it will be actually quite exciting to see Pierre Sarge's sort of style of play with Palace. Maybe they're going to be defensive, maybe they're going to be really free-flowing, maybe they're just going to be a great team to watch. To be honest, if you actually check, all odds are with Everton. They're actually the favourites to win this game. And to be honest, I think their players are honestly better. And one player that helps is Brennan Johnson. I mean, why has Palace downgraded themselves to O'Neill whilst Everton are getting Brennan Johnson? That swap deal just made no sense to me, and I think maybe this game Johnson will prove that. I feel like Everton are sort of going to control for most of the match, with obviously new signing Hayden Hackney from Middlesbrough. He's going to play next to Garner, and it's going to be a great partnership. I can see them sort of having a lot of possession in this game. Though all the good things I've said about Everton, I actually just have a feeling it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think it might even be quite a boring game. I just don't see much firepower in these sides, and I think the scoreline's going to display that. On to Forest versus Leeds, and Leeds looked much better than Forest last season, but will Glasner change that? Obviously he came from Crystal Palace. He's an amazing manager, one of the best in the Premier League, and to be honest I think if Forest could have an improvement, it will be under this guy. I can see Gibbs White having an amazing game. I think he's going to cause a bit of havoc for that Leeds defence. But to be fair, in the last 3 matches, Leeds came victorious twice. And plus, after Forest finishing below them last season, to be honest, Leeds are probably the ones to back. I know I've just went for a draw, but I'm going to have to go for another one. I'm going to say 2-2. Gibbs White scoring a brace to make it 2-0. But Trafford will make some amazing saves, leading to the team having much more confidence. And I can see Dominic Calvert-Lewin also netting 2. Now we have Brentford versus Spurs. To be fair, Spurs should be winning this game. They have a big statement to make after all the cash they've splashed this summer. I do like the tricky player that is Jadon Anthony. Obviously, he's going to be making his Premier League debut with Brentford, if he plays, I suppose. And if he does play, he's going to be amazing. Keith Andrews' team is a very hard team to break down. Obviously, they're in the 2nd year of the Brentford project. And to be honest, every game for me, they keep getting better and better. And that's why I'm actually going to say for an upset here, Brentford 2-1, where I feel like it's going to be extremely close for 80 minutes. But late in the game, Igor Thiago are going to finish them off to nab the 3 points for Brentford. Now we have Manchester City versus Bournemouth, and it's a very hard, tough first game of the Premier League season for Bournemouth. Obviously, they're facing a massive team that is Manchester City. Well, to be fair, they're not that big, are they? Me personally, I don't even know a City fan myself. But can Marco Rosa shock Premier League fans in Game Week 1? That is the question. I think he's a very smart tactical coach, coming from a lot of Bundesliga experience. I wouldn't be shocked if they actually come into this game, you know, playing very positive against this City side. I'm predicting for Manchester City to dominate the general 90 minutes, but I can also see bursts of attack from Bournemouth where they could punish City. I'm actually going to say 3-2 to City. I think I've just got to go with the quality that City have, and they know how to dominate games. I'm a big fan of Maresca, and I can see him getting the first win under his belt. I'm going to say Erling Haaland to score a brace on his Prem return, which isn't really a great prediction because we all know he's probably going to score in this game. But a great performance from the Cherries. On to Brighton versus Villa, and with Villa losing Tielemans, Rodgers, they're very unlucky to also have Onana and Manzambi out on injury. So they've lost 2 of their midfielders to transfers, and coming into this Premier League season, they have another 2 who they can't use. And so the question is, can Brighton cause an upset with Aston Villa's empty looking squad? I think they're definitely capable of it. If you have watched my Premier League predictions, you know that I'm a big fan of Hurtler, and I do think they're going to do well this season. I see Brighton sort of come into this game all guns blazing. I think Verbruggen's going to have an amazing game. He's a great goalkeeper, and I can see him saving some shots for Brighton. But then again, whatever you give Unai, he always managed to get a result. So Villa are probably going to be very confident coming into this game. As much as I love Unai and I really respect him as a gaffer, I'm going to have to actually go for 2-0 Brighton, which I think a lot of you are going to see this as an upset. They'll just have a very tactically hard system, and I feel like it's just going to make Villa lose their heads. Pascal Grob, he's going to score a blinder too. If you're loving these Premier League videos and want to check out some more, I have some kit ranking videos. I've ranked home kits, I've ranked away kits. The videos are on the channel. A lot of you will know I have a goal for 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to move to Australia, so hopefully you guys can help me out if you enjoy the content. On to our second last game of Game Week 1, we have Newcastle versus Liverpool. I just have a feeling that this game's going to be really boring. So if there's another game at the same time, don't watch this and you can thank me later. Both sides haven't had amazing football last season, and with Iraola coming in, he's not too settled yet, so I don't see an instant change. I think it's going to be a project with him, just like how when Klopp came in, it took a few years to sort of develop them as one of the best sides in England. It's going to be the same here. Obviously, they have immense quality, this Liverpool team, but Iraola is going to need some time to implement his style of football, as it was very different to what they're used to with Arne Slot. You could also technically say the same thing with Newcastle, Yassel coming in as well. So I think this is going to be just sort of a tester match for both teams. I don't think there's going to be much that goes on. With Newcastle, they're not going to probably come into this game too confident, having losing a lot of their best players. I'm going to say for it to be a very mixed game, a very 50-50 game, with actually Liverpool getting way more chances, but they just couldn't finish their dinner. It's going to be 0-0. Now we have Fulham versus Chelsea, and it's a London derby, if you may call it one, even though I don't think it actually is. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fulham actually did surprise the Blues last time out, winning 2-1. So maybe they could instill that form once again against Chelsea. Obviously, the Blues have the better squad. They had a very, very lackluster 25-26 season. I'm about to say 24-25. Yeah, 25-26 season. But with Xabi Alonso in, maybe the player's going to be quite confident. They've brought in Rodgers, obviously. It's going to be interesting to see how he slots in, whether he's going to be maybe a free roaming midfielder or on that wing. 2-0 to Chelsea with Cole Palmer getting back on the score sheet. Probably very annoyed that he didn't get into the World Cup squad. He's going to bounce back and get a goal here. Thank you lads and lasses for watching. Make sure to stay tuned and hopefully we get some predictions right.